welcome back to Little Miss Drop Stitch. Last year I treated you to the free little chunky pumpkin knitting pattern, and this year I've made its crochet sister. This video is a complete step-by-step tutorial, but if you'd also like the pattern written, it's absolutely free. I'll put the link below for both, and they're over on Ravelry. So to make it chunky, you have two choices. You can use chunky yarn, or you can put two strands of DK or sport weight yarn together. And I'm also using a 5mm crochet hook. I like to go a size down than what the yarn weight is that you're using, just so then we don't get any gaps through and we don't get any stuffing poking through. It's absolutely free to support small content creators, if I can say it, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd give the pattern a download and a make and post them to Ravelry, like, thumbs up, all the good stuff. I'd advise leaving a tail long enough at the start of your chain for sewing up, but if you forget to, it's no major crime. You can just add it normally after as you would to sew. First thing you'll need to do is make your foundation chain, so slip knot and then chain 23 stitches. If you need any reminders on any of the basics, I've got videos, I'll link them below for you. Here's our 23 foundation chains. And next we're going to be working half treble crochet. Like I've just mentioned, I have videos on all the techniques and stitches as well. This is half treble, little sample, and we've got a video on that if you need any help and reminders. It is a really good beginner project, this as well, actually. So what we need to do, because this is going to make the height for the next row, is miss 2 chains and then half treble crochet. That's UK terms, half treble crochet in the US. So do that in the 3rd chain from the hook. There's my first half treble crochet, and then you just want to do that in every stitch to the end, and that will mean you've 21 stitches in total, because the first 2 of those 23 we used for our turning chain. So crack on, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Excellent, you've got to the end of your first row. Then we're going to chain 2, this is the turning chain, and then you're going to half treble crochet but through the back of the loop only, and you'll do that in every stitch, so 21 stitches to the end. I've just made a video actually which I'll link, showing you how to just go in the back loop if you need any help with that. And the purpose of it is to create these ridges for the pumpkin, and it gives it a lot of character. So half trebling through the back of the loop only. Don't forget, if this is going a bit quick for you, to download the written instructions, and they're absolutely free. I love this project for using up odds and sods of yarn as well. Like in the green example I've shown you, you can use 2 DK or sport weight yarns together to create the chunky yarn weights, and that helps to use up wool, which means you can buy more. We're at the end of the row. Told you it was a nice quick last minute project. We're at the end of the row, chain 2, and you're going to do this every row. Chain 2, turn, and then the back loop only, do your half treble stitches. In every stitch there's 21 total, and you're going to keep doing that in all 21 stitches, and do that until the work measures 13 inches, which is 33 centimetres, I believe. So I'm going to stick the telly on, probably catch up on Yorkshire Vet, and I will meet you when we've both got the complete length of fabric. Here's our finished fabric, 13 inches, approximately 33 centimetres, so this is the way that you've made it. And then, as you can see, we'll be turning it round to create that lovely ridge effect on the pumpkin, but we can put that aside for a moment, and we're going to make the stalk. Again, leave a bit of a tail for sewing, and you're going to do a foundation chain of 10 stitches. We're half trebling again, nothing special through backs of loops or anything on this foundation row. So yarn over to half treble, miss 2 stitches, that'll give us our height. Then in the 3rd stitch from the hook, half treble, and half treble in the other stitches along. So you'll have 8 stitches in total. So I think it's going a bit squiffy then off camera. Chain 2 and turn just like we did on the main bit of the pumpkin, and then half treble stitch again through the back loop, and do that in each stitch along. And I'll meet you at the end and give you the instructions for the rest of the stalk. I've kept it nice and simple for us. Chain 2, turn, and all you're going to do is exactly the same, so half treble crochet stitch in the back loop only in the 8 stitches that we have along, and you're going to do that for 7 more rows, so that will be 9 rows in total, and I'll meet you once we've done that and fastened off. Here's our little stalk fabric, and we're now going to sew it together, so we want to turn it round so these ridges are running vertically. I've already left long enough tails when I've been starting and fastening off, but if you haven't, just join on a yarn to sew, it's not a problem. And then we're just going to roll it inwards, nice and firm, not slack, but you don't want to strangle it either. And then with one of the ends, we're going to over sew it in place. I'm just going to get rid of this tail, so I'll just weave it in a couple of times to the inside of the stalk. Squishy stalk complete, pop that to the side for a moment, and we're going to make up the main body of the pumpkin. Like with the stalk, we're going to turn our work around, so we've got the rows now running vertically. Then meet the short edge to the other short edge. This was actually our starting and last row, but they're now at the side as the selvage. And then nothing fancy, I'm just going to kind of whip stitch and over sew over. All we need to do now is turn it inside out. See, nothing fancy, but the seam's lovely. Here we go, getting all tangled. Then with the tail I've got left, if you've not just start sewing anew, not a problem. I'm just going to do a running stitch all the way around this circle, and this will become the bottom of our pumpkin. Still going in nice and neat. They don't have to be tiny, but no massive threads either. Stitch. Then all we're going to do now is pull. When to pull, you might need to shimmy it round a bit. I can assure you, you will get absolutely addicted to making pumpkins. I've got a full colony of them now. Okay, pull it in as much as it'll go. and then we can over sew and secure this. I do think this pumpkin project and all my other pumpkin projects are quite forgiving with the sewing as well. If that's not your favourite thing to do, I have a friend whose sewing is definitely not the most favourite thing to do. She made me a lovely witch last year and gave it me as a jigsaw puzzle to sew together. So just secure it as much as you need to. Give it a tug, said the actress to the bishop, and secure it inside. Now you're going to stuff your pumpkin. I'd suggest getting in as much in there as you can, really packing it around the top. Because if we look what I did last year, it was really stuffed, and then by the time I gathered the top, actually, you just pucker bits. Depends what your preference is, but I like mine to be nice and firm. It seems to finally be confirmed that I am indeed a pillock, because I was chatting away doing lovely instructions and I'd not even pressed record. So last time I left you, we'd stuff the pumpkin, and I gave the advice of stuffing it quite well, particularly near the top, because this is the example we did last year. Then I added another yarn, did a running stitch around and cinched the pumpkin. You can watch last year's tutorial of doing this, even though it's on a knitted fabric, it's the same thing. So cinched it and kind of just placed the stalk for the measurement of how wide I wanted the hole, said the actress to the bishop, secured in place with a couple of over stitches. Then I put my stalk in place and over sewed all the way around. It is in the written instructions as well. Now we've got a nice pumpkin with the ridges, but I do want it that little bit more realistic, and these segments are super easy to create. You want to get another length of yarn, approximately go around your pumpkin plus about 10 centimetres, and just put a knot and secure your fabric. Then you're going to come up near the stalk in the kind of channel, the ditch between the ridges that we created by crocheting through the back of the loop. And I'd just like to secure that. Then we're going to go around the pumpkin and approximately try to come out symmetrical on the other side. There we go. And secure again near the stalk. But this time you're going to pull up, and there we go, we've created already those segments. And then I find it helpful to hold tension on the yarn with my left hand to keep it in place, and then secure with the right. Fabulous. Now this piece of yarn's long enough actually, so if it's long enough and not too worn out, you can use this for the second bit. If you need a new piece of yarn even, that's absolutely fine. I want to create 6 segments, so just kind of eyeball and approximately divide. You always want to go in the ditch. With the knitted one from last year, we did purposely create purl channels. However, with this, we just went in the back loop, so there's no specific measurement, just eyeball it to be symmetrical. And here we have it, this year's free little chunky pumpkin crochet pattern, and I'll link below last year's knitted one as well. Don't forget the written instructions, if you'd like those, are over on Ravelry, and please do share your makes on there so I can see what you've made, or feel free to email or inbox them over to us. Thank you very much for your continued support. I hope you're going to have a complete colony of pumpkins like I've got. Thank you and take care.